What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Tuesday, January 5th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, let's take a look at the point guard position. I'm going to give you a value play here. I like Lou Williams from the LA Clippers playing the San Antonio Spurs, who have the worst defense overall and they're middle of the pack defending opposing point guards. Lou Williams has averaged 17.2 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 21 minutes per game with a 21% usage rate. He's projected at 20.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. He's only $4,000 FanDuel salary and $300 more on DraftKings. So I know he's had a bad couple of games, only scoring 11 and 15 fantasy points in the past 2 games, but he put up 26 fantasy points in the game before that. He's got major upside when he gets hot. Now he's super low salary, so I like Lou Williams here versus the San Antonio Spurs. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. I like Zach LaVine from the Chicago Bulls playing the Portland Trailblazers, who have the 9th worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. Zach LaVine has averaged 38.4 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 32 minutes per game with a 32% usage rate. He scored 59, 27, and 40 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 38, 27, and 34 minutes. He's projected at 36.7 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.5 times value, but I think he can score 40 fantasy points or more in this one and get you 5 times value or more. He's $8,100 FanDuel salary and $100 less on DraftKings. Vegas thinks there's going to be 234 points scored in this game, so a high-scoring game, fantastic matchup. So I like Zach LaVine here versus the Portland Trailblazers. Okay, who do we have at the small forward position? I'm going to give you a value play here. I like Carmelo Anthony from the Portland Trailblazers playing the Chicago Bulls, who have the 4th worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Carmelo Anthony has averaged 20 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 24 minutes per game with a 21% usage rate. He scored 14, 27, and 23 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 27, 23, and 25 minutes. He's projected at 22.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.4 times value. He's $4,200 FanDuel salary and $200 more on DraftKings. So we know Vegas thinks there's going to be 234 points scored in this game. So plenty of fantasy points to go around. Fantastic matchup. So I like Carmelo Anthony here versus the Chicago Bulls. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. I'm not going to mess around here, guys. I like Anthony Davis from the LA Lakers playing the Memphis Grizzlies, who have the second worst defense overall. And although they've been pretty good versus opposing power forwards, Anthony Davis has averaged 41.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 33 minutes per game with a 27% usage rate. He scored 44, 60, and 39 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 32, 35, and 31 minutes. He's projected at 44.7 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.5 times value. But I think he can get you 50 fantasy points or more and get you 5 times value or more. He's 10,000 FanDuel salary and 500 less on DraftKings. So I like that DraftKings price. Vegas thinks there's going to be 218 points scored in this game. So I like Anthony Davis here versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Okay, moving on to the center position. Here's another value play. Well, on FanDuel, he's a value play. Might be a lock for me on FanDuel. I like Serge Ibaka from the LA Clippers playing the San Antonio Spurs, who have the worst defense overall, and they give up the second most fantasy points to opposing centers. Serge Ibaka has averaged 26 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 23 minutes per game with a 22% usage rate. He scored 16, 24, and 30 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 24, 33, and 23 minutes. He's projected at 28.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 6.4 times value. So although that projection may be a little bit high, he can definitely get there, and he doesn't need that much to return value. He's only 4,500 FanDuel salary, and he's 1,100 more on DraftKings. So I love that FanDuel price. Fantastic matchup here. So I like Serge Ibaka here versus the San Antonio Spurs. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.